Hello, people. I'm Eric. There's Andy and Hunter, and we are Hazardous Opinions. Today, I want to tell you a little story. It starts once upon a time in Hollywood. It's a dramedy starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Bad Pitt, whoever that guy is, and Margot Robbie. Yeah, and I am excited to talk about this movie and hear your guys' opinions of this movie. It's by Quentin Tarantino. One of my favorites.
2019. So we're doing kind of a recent release here, and the names you didn't mention, there's a huge list of people in this movie, from Austin Butler of recent fame, Dakota Fanning, Timothy Olyphant. Just insane list for this movie. And of course, Tarantino, always starring in his own movies. So you can watch this one on Hulu and FX Now. Haven't used FX Now, but Hulu's also always good. If you guys haven't seen this movie in a while, the basic premise of this wacky movie is a Pulp Fiction-esque, more modern movie where an out-of-date Western actor, played by Leonardo DiCaprio, and his stunt double, played by Brad Pitt, try to make it big again in Hollywood after they've fallen from their fame when they used to do Western movies. And now they're finding themselves, as they're doing these movies, getting intertwined in a somewhat familiar real life story with Sharon Tate and the Manson family in Hollywood. So what do you guys think of this movie? What do you rate this?
Eric, you go ahead since you picked this one.
Oh, okay. I will go with a solid 84.5 out of 100.
Okay, so we're going out of 100 this episode. Not just an 8.5, not just a 9.5.
I will go with a solid 862 out of 1,000. Out of 1,000.5. I don't know. I like this movie. There is some things that we'll talk about that kind of make it a little dull in the middle part of it. But overall, it's it caught me off guard, and it does this interesting thing that Quentin Tarantino does where it pivots the entire story in a different direction, which is it's cool. I don't know if I'm a huge fan of it, but it's something that it's definitely Tarantino staple, and got to give it up to him. It's interesting writing is what I'm saying. So
yeah. So you're in the 8 range there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, yeah, if we can get a gauge of your rating. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
You want to go, Hunter?
Oh, yeah, sure. So honestly, with this movie, incorporating movie stars and very big grand story, honestly, I would give this 9.5.
9.5. That's
9.5.
950 out of 1,000.
Yes, and I will give that every fucking time. Yeah,
absolutely, man.
I'll give it, honestly. And I want to give it perfect specs. Honestly, I would have gave it a 10 out of 10. But for a couple reasons we're going to get into eventually. Honestly, why I gave it such a high performance is because one of the facts, it is Tarantino. It does have the movie stars, it has the story, it has the feel, everything like that. But also this film holds a special place in my heart, not only with the story, performances, and transportative nature, but that it's the first theater experience by myself. That I sat in a theater by myself, watched this movie, and then
Like a long time to sit in the
theater. and a week later, I eventually met my wife to be, but didn't know it at the time. I met her one night about like a week after that, and in front of a group of like 6 people with her in it, I said, "You know what? I went to my first movie by myself. I sat through a movie by myself in the theater, and it was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood." And everybody just like laughed, and not in a mocking way. They were just like, "Wow, like that that's impressive."
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done that. And my wife says to this day, like, that is one of the things that kind of caught her when I was like talking, that I just wasn't afraid to be by myself, be myself, and watch this movie. And I felt like this would be a very important movie for me. I was having a very down day that day. And I was like, you know what? My boy Leo DiCaprio and my boy Quentin Tarantino, they're doing a movie together, like let's go. So
Yeah.
I was all in for it, and God, was I so happy being in that moment. And people need to realize that they can go to movies by themselves without feeling ashamed.
Oh, absolutely.
That's all I gotta say. It's
Yeah.
people will look at you and judge you, probably.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Andy.
This is a very touching story, Hunter. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
I'm going to bring us back to the realistic world of Tarantino and
Okay.
start my review off by saying, "What the fuck, Tarantino? Why do you keep showing me so much feet?"
Oh man.
Okay, you know what?
We'll get more into that.
Yeah.
I will give Tarantino his time because I want to talk about the feet. But
Okay.
this movie might actually be my least favorite Tarantino movie, and that's not saying anything bad about this movie. It is a really high bar that he has set. And I put this movie probably in the 7.8, 7.9 range. It's a very enjoyable time, but like Eric said, there is a lull somewhere near the beginning middle area that kind of brings the movie down a little bit. But that second half, absolutely killer. No pun intended. So
okay.
I do want to get into a lot of this stuff. I'm excited to talk about
it. I gotta say, Andy, I never thought I'd say this to one of you guys again, but
disappointed, Dad?
You might be on my shit list again.
Hey,
I gotta say,
there is way too much feet.
There's only so high you can go, and when most of Tarantino's movies are in my 8 to 10 range, it is so hard to break into that ceiling.
Okay, like one statement I will say right now. I feel like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is his second best movie behind Inglourious.
Inglourious Bastards. Yeah.
Yep. I gotta say
that one's good.
So
I love Inglourious Bastards. This one, I don't know. I guess I haven't really thought about my ranking in Tarantino movies, but
it's very tough. It is. I get what you're saying, Andy. I like that. That's why I just said that out loud. Like, I think that would be mine. Okay.
Fair enough. I have Django probably up at my top one.
Oh, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Oh, motherfucker. Yeah. Why did you bring up Django? Why did I totally space that out? Okay. Fuck.
We're going to rearrange the list.
It's going to be a tough top 3, guys. It's a tough top 3, honestly. Like, and I know a lot of people put like Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction up there, but honestly, I honestly, in my personal opinion, I would put those 3 up at my top. Django, Once Upon a Time, and Inglourious.
Yeah, I think Reservoir is in my second. It's really good.
Mm-hmm. I still need to see that one.
It is good. It is really good.
Okay.
But Yeah. Do we want to get the feet conversation out of the way?
Yes,
Why
actually,
why are Margot Robbie's feet so dirty?
because she's walking around. Wait, what?
I thought she had
Barefoot quite a
heels.
bit.
Oh,
Okay,
maybe she was
there.
barefoot.
Yeah, a lot of the characters in this were barefoot, and when I first saw those ladies singing and running around barefoot, they actually really scared me. I'm like, this isn't right. They're like something is deeply wrong with them.
Oh
Mhm.
God.
For some reason, it really messed me up. But that they were just like skipping around, singing, and then like they're murdering people. I bet.
I get his MO, and I was totally expecting some feet in this movie, but the
Yep.
tracking shots on Margot Robbie in that theater were excessive. And
He
then
is
to
into
follow it up
feet.
with Brad Pitt bringing the younger girl,
Margaret
Pussycat.
Qualley.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Pussycat, I think it was her character,
I think
with
so.
the feet on the dash for like a 30-second shot. I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, up against the windshield and stuff. Yeah, no, people have pointed out like Tarantino's foot thing, and yeah, he
I think he's leaning into it with
I
this
think
movie.
he does have a foot fetish. I'm pretty sure. I'm not even joking about that. I think he does, and it's a
Just
little strange, but you know what?
Yeah.
gotta
What he
chill out.
gives us, I'll take it. You know.
It takes me out so much. It makes me realize I'm watching a movie.
Yeah.
I
It,
know, right?
I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it was just me, but like, it just made me uncomfortable every time somebody like was walking around barefoot on like the dirt and then like putting her bare feet on his windshield. I'm like,
Hmm.
how is he not like freaking out on her right now? Like, who the fuck does this shit?
I know.
I don't know. I never existed in the 60s or 50s, so
And you
Yeah,
know what? I love Tarantino, but I'm the total opposite of him. I hate feet.
yeah.
same.
Me,
Don't like them.
I
I
don't
don't
like it
like my
either.
own. I don't like my own.
Yeah,
Like,
me
gotta
neither.
say, I put socks on all the fucking time, and anybody can quote me on that. Like, I don't know. Just I don't understand it at all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
slightly
Yeah.
infuriating every time I saw the bare feet. Honestly,
I know, right? God, fuck. I don't care if they're hippies but
I
and
did have to at
literally,
least bring that up. Yeah. So
yeah.
many feet shots.
So yeah, no, I understand you, and I figured that would come up in our pod, honestly. Uh, and I just wanted to say, like, to start this movie out, like, it starts out with a bang, literally, pew pew, and throws you into the world of like Tarantino constructed for us. You can tell he
Mhm.
was passionate about this time in history, cinema history, like the
oh yeah, the
the
westerns.
western, yeah, 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 where it like immediately kicks off just the western TV series,
Yeah, what was it
and
called?
Bounty Law.
Bounty Law. Yeah,
Bounty
that was
Yeah.
cool to see. That
yeah.
actually like made me think that it was like an actual show that existed.
Yeah. I love that. And they had was it the NBC jingle that went on when
Yeah,
it cut to the
Yeah,
they had a
yeah.
whole
commercials? That was
commercial
really
for it.
cool.
Honestly, guys, like quite a bit besides some of the fictional characters, I think was a real thing, and
Mhm.
Tarantino just kind of like put his fiction in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
think I think quite a few, like especially those movies that like kept flashing back to like some of the World War II movies that had Leo, like Rick Dalton in there.
Yeah.
yep.
Those were
The
real
Great Escape.
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Yeah. I've seen Great Escape. That was a good one.
Yep. Yep.
I loved him like being put in those scenes, and that was so silly, but it was really funny.
Yeah,
It was so great. Like it was so seamless, and like from how Tarantino shoots the TV series, like the camera angles and the positioning, it it just seems like you're back in that era of
it's
TV.
it's
You
very
know,
convincing,
yeah.
honestly.
Even though it was very HD picture, It was black and white, and like you can feel it, not really see it because it wasn't that grainy stuff that was going on in that time, right?
Yeah.
But like it looked it.
I really liked when they were doing the shooting scenes for a lot of the show, and when he was with the Italian director, I think it was. Like the cinematography during a lot of those scenes was so impressive. Like it like makes you feel like you're in a show within a show. It's just the layers that this movie has is really impressive to be a movie in a movie. It's just I like it a lot.
Oh yeah.
Me too. Those little montages of the stuff he was talking about with his like brand deals and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys, was it Leo actually singing that Green Door song?
Yes.
It sounded
like
it.
Yeah. Definitely
Okay.
it was. Yeah. I believe it was. He's not a huge theater kid with like a good singing voice, but like you can just tell it's him in Rick's voice, you know?
Yeah, no, I really like that part because like the song didn't make any sense. I don't remember exactly how it went, but it basically
the green
just
door.
Yeah, the green door.
Door.
It didn't make any sense because it was like, I want to know what's behind the green door.
Eric, I'm with
But
you.
I just went back. I rewound it back because I'm like, did he just say that? Because like he says
There's an old piano and they play it hot behind the green door. Don't know what they're doing, but they laugh a lot behind the green door. Wish they let me in so I can find out what's behind the green door.
I think it's the point of stupid commercials, like with their jingles, right?
the
like
jingles, yeah.
But
I think that's like, since it was like so bad, that was just going to show that he's like washed up now, because that whole like conversation that they had was like all like bad media that he's been in, like trying to make it, you know?
Yes.
Showing everything that he's washed up from.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. And I do want to say, like, the vibe of this whole film, like, especially Eric, you mentioning that commercial there.
Yeah.
The vibe of this whole film, from the costuming, the music choices, set pieces, and characters and their performances, it just totally transports us to the late 60s, early 70s.
Yep.
And obviously, okay, anybody could tell us three didn't live during that time.
No.
I know. But wow, you really feel it. And Tarantino captured that. Like, I don't know how else to describe it, that other than he captured it, that we like felt like we were actually there and transported. And that's exactly how you want to feel towards film. You want to be transported to a different reality that is different from yours, right?
I thought that the production design and like set designs really helped sell that. Like the houses and the cars.
Wow.
Huge for me in this movie.
Those major streets in LA, like all those neon signs, Tarantino dressed it up like those streets. And it's nuts how he did that.
Is this a movie set, or is that
it's an actual street.
Wow.
Okay.
Yep.
What was the budget like for this movie?
I have no idea, but like he totally transported one of the Los Angeles streets with all those like old timey signs. And
that's cool.
Just a cool 90 milli for this one.
Yeah, 90 million.
90. Oh wow, yeah, no, that's not a whole lot at all.
Oh,
pocket change, right?
Yeah. I guess, yeah.
No,
they were really banking on it. I mean, it was good. I mean,
yeah, I like, along with like the set design stuff, like everything has a sense of really well researched realism. Like, I don't know how familiar you guys are with the Manson family history, but like their like headquarters and like all the people that were name dropped in this movie. I'm like, oh my god, this is like everyone. It's not just like a cameo or anything.
Right.
So I thought all that was pretty cool, and it leads in. I'm not going to discuss the ending yet. We'll save that for a little later, but leads you on a little rabbit trail that they like to subvert later when you're expecting the real story.
Definitely. And like, yep. I have always been into like serial killer history and stuff. Not trying to sound like a psycho like that. It's just like, obviously that true crime stuff is interesting in a natural, okay way. I'm not obsessed with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I am familiar with the Manson family murders, and that's partly the reason why I was kind of like intrigued by this movie. And I do have like, I will have more to say towards the end, kind of like what you said, Andy. Honestly, like once we get towards the end, yeah, kind of those bits that were thrown into it will like kind of dive deeper into.
Yeah,
but
yeah, I want to talk a little bit about the awesome fight scene between Bruce Lee and Brad Pitt.
oh, you want to jump to that? Okay.
Brad Pitt just being this like silent badass through this whole movie. He beats a few other people up, well, excessively later, and just awesome. I completely didn't know when he was walking up to Bruce Lee which way that they would take this. I'm like, is Brad Pitt actually going to be super washed up and out of it, or is he like actually going to kick his ass? And
right.
I was really happy to see that.
Yeah, it's adding to the alternate history of things where like Bruce Lee he was actually doing that stuff. Like he was consulting on movie sets and everything like that. So that was pretty accurate. But like the story behind why Kurt Russell's character and his wife didn't like Cliff Booth, like that is so funny. And like, honestly, guys, can you see Brad Pitt in another world being just like Cliff?
I could
honestly.
For sure.
I totally could. Like,
I thought it was him the whole time.
He acts so naturally in that fucking role. Like, I'm like, wow, okay, is this just how Brad Pitt is every day? Like, you don't know. Yeah.
It's just chillaxed. I really like how little time they spend on the wife murder. Like, it was just like, there's the one little scene of them on the boat. And you're like, yeah, that's the guy who killed his wife.
Yep.
And it's just like not brought up again.
Guys,
this is the guy that killed his wife. I was a bit shocked when then that happened. I'm like, he killed his wife?
Yeah, I actually rewinded. I'm like, wait, Brad Pitt killed his wife?
That fucking scene, guys. Holy shit. That made me burst out laughing. Just like how they cut to it, and Brad Pitt is just sitting there with those like goggles on. You can barely see his fucking eyes and just his mouth beneath the goggles. And just his mouth open, and he's just acting all casual, just holding the fucking the harpoon gun, guys. Like he's just holding it down there. And she's complaining like a fucking like it's such a rude girl. And then it just cuts away from that. And I thought that was a genius part of comedy right there. Like that we don't know if he actually did or not. But it was so fucking funny when it was going on.
I was so thrown off when they said that. I'm like, wait, there's no way this guy is like so chill. I can't imagine like he would get, so angry to murder his wife or something. I didn't even know what the reason was. I'm like, maybe he was framed. I was like coming up with all these things throughout the whole thing after that.
He seemed so chill about it. And then just like,
I'm
okay,
like,
I can see it.
I want you to explain yourself. Like, don't tell me you killed your wife, man.
Yeah.
And Bruce Lee has the right reaction to it. He's like, oh, that's the guy who killed his wife. Wait, that guy killed his wife?
Yeah.
Right.
That guy?
Yeah. And I mean, even before we get to like that Bruce Lee stuff, I'm glad you brought that up, Andy, because that is like a very good part in the beginning or in the middle section, I'd say, But I wanted to bring up the dynamic between Cliff and Rick is so nice and natural.
It's one of the
And
best buddy
you're
friendships.
you're already curious what the relationship is like between an aging actor and his longtime stunt double. They're so comfortable, and they're one of my favorite duos like ever in a movie.
Yeah.
Does Brad Pitt live with Leo?
No.
His
No, we
character?
saw.
Yeah. Yeah. Just in real life in Hollywood.
I'd imagine they have their own houses in Hollywood.
Cliff does not live with Rick, as you can see. Like he returns to a trailer house, and that's also a scene I was going to get to.
Yeah, with his dog.
That's what I was
Yep,
thinking.
yep.
Then the end, I didn't rewind back to double check, but then I was like, wait, he's feeding his dog at Leo's house. So I was confused.
Oh, he was staying.
I
with
get
them.
you. He was just staying with them for a special occasion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I am very happy you guys agreed that they are like such an amazing duo that you don't get to see a whole lot, you know.
And Brad Pitt deservedly, I think, got an Oscar for his supporting actor role in that.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't blame the Academy for giving him that.
Very
We can
deserved.
blame the Academy for other things, but
for not nominating Greta Gerwig for Best Director.
Right. Yeah. Fuck the Academy. We'll get into that next month.
And Margot
Stay
Robbie,
tuned.
that's in this movie for not lead actress.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck the Academy sometimes, but yeah.
No, rightly
I like-
deserved for Brad Pitt here, though.
Yeah.
I really liked Sharon Tate, played by Margot Robbie in this.
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't ever watch Sharon Tate's old movies,
Me either.
but for a while, Margot Robbie had me going. I'm like, wait, is she actually Sharon Tate or is she pretending? Because she got up to the ticket booth at the movie theater, and she was so unsure of herself when she said that she was in the movie. I'm like, wait, is Sharon Tate actually in that? And I had to look it up. I'm like, yeah,
I was
she's in that
confused
movie.
too. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I kind of gathered that Sharon Tate was actually in that movie, and that Sharon Tate was kind of just this person that wanted to enjoy her own movie with the audience, like it's intended to be, right?
Yep.
And I think I did hear that like she used to actually, like the actual Sharon Tate, like used to do stuff like that. And it's so funny that like she wasn't that big. And I think Tarantino was like kind of like commenting on that, but she wasn't so small to where like people didn't recognize her. So like just having her go up to that theater, like that ticket booth, it's very interesting, like that the girl doesn't recognize her even though she's working at a freaking movie theater that's playing a movie with Sharon Tate in it.
Yeah.
So like it's just kind of funny there, like, and Sharon Tate, it's kind of speaking to her character and like who she was probably as a person, where she wasn't so like stuck up, like, hey, I'm like a famous person, let me into my movie, you know. It's kind of just like,
let me in.
Yeah, let me in. No, like it just kind of like, hey, yeah, like I'm Sharon Tate, I'm in the movie, like can I check out the movie? And she was perfectly fine with taking pictures with them and stuff like that. And I feel like Tarantino was just kind of trying to highlight like who she was as a person, as described, you know.
Yeah, I don't. Obviously, we weren't around that time. I don't think she was like huge. I think she was an up and comer for sure, because she was with a lot of huge names on those movies, like Wrecking Crew that they show in the movie.
Yep.
I thought that whole theater scene was super cute though, like a small-ish actor, like actually getting to enjoy people enjoying their work. I thought was just super cool to watch.
Yeah,
and almost like self-referential to like, I wonder if Margot Robbie does that to like this movie. But yeah,
that's a good question, because of like quite a few actors I've heard, like especially Adam Driver, he doesn't like to watch his own work.
Yeah,
really.
So it's it's very interesting. Like, Yeah. Oh, you don't want to like see the product that you made. And also at the same time, I can understand. It's kind of like hearing our own voices when I listen to our podcasts. I don't
Just
like
cringes at
hearing
himself.
I don't hearing my I don't like hearing my own voice,
Yeah.
just stuff like that. Yeah. So I understand. I do.
Yeah, I suppose. Like, I feel like if I'm spending like several months to like to a year on a project though, like I'm definitely going to sit there for 2 hours and deal with whatever I whatever I got going on, like cringing toward myself to watch that fucking movie, because like that is a lot of hard work. And
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to enjoy it, be like, "Hey, that's me." But then again, I'm not like I'm not an actor, so I guess I couldn't imagine how they would feel
Yeah.
doing
Right.
that all the time. So
Right. And it's performing. It's kind of like if somebody watches themselves sing on stage, or if somebody watches themselves or not even watching themselves in the process of painting, but the product
yeah.
of the painting, like just viewing their own painting. It's
Well,
stressful. You put
that's
yourself out
painting.
there.
That's painting though. Like obviously you're gonna like, as an artist, you're probably gonna like what you're making, right? So
You
you're gonna
hope
admire
so.
your own work.
You hope so.
But
I
like,
can tell
like
you,
if
I
you didn't
paint.
like it, why wouldn't you? Why would you show everybody else? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I
You're
guess that
worried.
happens sometimes but then that usually gets botched.
You're worried how other people are going to react to it, even though you love it,
Yeah,
or
I suppose.
you don't totally love it, but you're like, hey, I have to put this out there, like maybe to
Yeah,
meet a deadline or something like that.
yeah, I suppose.
Yeah,
But
yeah, like some of my paintings that I've made, like at least for my wife or myself, so far, I'm like, I really like this. I really enjoy doing it.
yeah,
And then I take a step away from it for a while. And I'm like, God, do I really like that? Is it perfect? Can I fix it?
yeah,
Kind of that's what I was kind of trying to explain to you. Like that it just might not be your product you want to put out.
yeah.
Exactly.
I suppose.
Yeah.
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 I think you're touching on Marabella's speech a little bit. The little girl in the Western. It's like you're like always striving for the perfect and stuff, but you can't ever be
Oh, yep.
perfect.
Yeah.
Man, okay,
I
I
love
have
so
that
much.
down in my notes. All right, wait. That's kind of towards the like kind of third, fourth of the movie. Should we like keep going a little bit on the like
I meant
first
like
half?
she was in the first half because we
Was
cut
she in
back to the Western multiple times before he like finally gets it right at the end.
Yeah.
Okay, that
There's
might
like
be
when they
about like right halfway.
yeah, I think you're right. It's like about an hour in when they're first going
Yeah.
through the script together.
Okay. Yeah. No. We can go through that for sure.
I thought that was cute. Her whole thing there. She's reading the book and then he's tearing up on the thing reading about the Buster Bronco.
Dude, when he
Yeah.
walked up, like all done up for his character and stuff, I did not recognize him. I'm like, who is
Yeah.
that? And why is he looking at that little girl? I'm like, me and Cordy both thought something weird was gonna happen, and it's like, oh, it's just Rick Dalton. I
Yeah.
was like, okay,
Motherfucking Rick Dalton.
yeah,
Yeah. Rick's meeting with this little girl on set that what was her name? Arabelle?
I think it was like
Yeah.
Marabella.
Marabella or yeah, sorry. Okay. So like it was really awesome and really has that dynamic between a rising star and an old actor that is like it this like dynamic is so precious and insightful, and a young person giving Rick that reminder what acting is about and giving him that push to continue to succeed is like so amazing. And she's taking it to the max like he probably did when he started. She's taking
Mhm.
acting to the max, like their art form to the max. when he started, probably, you know, kind of like mirroring that. And Rick's passion is almost refueled after like she talks to him, which is just like a very grand thing, you know?
Yeah, I liked all the scenes with her. She's awesome, both the child actor and like just the whole dynamic between Leo and Marabella there. Just
Yeah.
awesome, really giving him his pushback to be better.
Right, right. When he's kind of like in that rut and he's doubting himself and like getting to that oldish stage of his life, which it doesn't mean doom, but he thinks it's doom, you
Yeah.
know? And the book Rick is reading encapsulates his life at the moment. Like, it's such great writing by Tarantino to put that Buster, what was it, that book?
I think it was Buster Bronco.
Buster Bronco. Yeah, just it encapsulates like what Rick Dalton is going through.
Yeah, I thought at first that he was just bullshitting and like telling about his life. And I looked at the back of the book. I'm like, no, it actually does say Buster Bronco.
Yeah, no, like I figured like it was kind of just a ironic thing that he was reading a book that was kind of his life at the moment, honestly, you know?
That's just good storytelling.
Exactly.
Him happened to be reading a book
man.
that happens to drive it forward by him explaining the book to her and her giving advice about it and stuff.
Right.
I really like that.
Yeah, definitely.
So was it after that that's when he started he had the refueled, you know, spurt of energy, and that's why he got real excited, poured himself a drink and started reading his lines.
And then he has an up into the bar scene. He gets super excited. And then he goes way back down to his low.
Yeah.
And then you get the whole 8 goddamn whiskey sours scene.
Guys, I was waiting for this. Do you understand what I was trying to say in our actors and actresses now? With the fucking I mentioned the camper scene. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That shit. Right. Okay. So Rick was killing it until he wasn't. Then the best fucking scene that I mentioned in that favorite actors and actresses finally came to life, and the situation that Rick is in is gold. Like the trailer scene, that's what Leo somewhat like improvised on. That whole trailer scene. You had 20 goddamn whiskey sours. He gave fuck. Like, it's so good. You can't read your goddamn lines. Yeah, no, it's just so great. Like, oh my god.
The whole time he was throwing rants in that trailer, like I felt for him because he was like tearing up and stuff. I'm like, man, this is great acting. Like, I am really convinced that he is so dedicated to this role.
Yeah. No, like honestly, guys, like I want to say, like, or I want to ask you guys, should I say, is this the funniest Leo has been in a role?
Wolf of Wall Street might be close, but yeah, he is pretty funny in this one.
I was gonna say Wolf of Wall Street would be very close, but yeah, this one is also pretty funny in comparison to the two. I don't know.
I do agree with you guys. That's exactly what I thought during the movie, and then when I started like continuing through the movie, like past this trailer scene, I was like, okay, I really do think this is the funniest Leo has been. Like, honestly, I think Tarantino just wrote up a very good character for him. Honestly, like, Leo was so funny in Wolf of Wall Street, but there was also funny players in that movie. I feel like Leo was one of the funniest characters in this one. You know what I'm saying? There was funny supporting characters in Wolf of Wall Street, but not a lot of funny supporting characters in this one.
Yeah, you had Jonah Hill and John
yeah, I agree.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like people to play off of, but it was just Leo in that trailer being fucking funny on his own.
Yeah.
Like, and he improvised that shit. God damn, guys, he is. Leo, you're a god, man. Fucking,
Yeah.
he's my actor, guys.
All he
So
really
good.
has in this one is Pitt to go off of, and Pitt's really a stoic character, so he doesn't have much to
He's
give him.
funny. He's funny in his own way as well. Like
Yeah.
that's why I
He's a
love them
dry-
as a duo. Yeah,
He's a very dry funny. He's like,
he is.
I'm gonna end up in jail one day in my life, but it's not
Yeah.
because of Poontang.
Yeah. Okay, so leading into that, okay, so like did you guys like respect that Cliff was like that towards Margaret Qualley's character?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What was her name?
He's a very respectful, suave man.
Yes,
Pussycat.
Pussycat. Okay, yeah. Even with the name like Pussycat, you know.
Yeah.
But like he was respectful. It like I don't know. I mean, yeah, it was kind of weird that he was like kind of like checking her out, you know what I'm saying? Or he was just like, I don't know, interested in a different way. No idea. But
I mean, he could have been slightly interested, but
Mhm.
then when she came on strong like that, it was like, yeah, so you want me to give you a blowjob? And he's like, oh, wait a minute.
Whoa,
No.
yeah,
How old are
yeah.
you?
Right.
And she's like 18. And he's like, do you have ID to prove it? It's like, I
Yeah.
don't believe it. No, I ain't doing it.
Respect for
I
doing
ain't
that.
falling
Though.
in. I
God
ain't falling for
damn.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. No shit. And oh man, like the scene on Spawn Ranch is like, man, before you really get into it, it's like, oh, it's a whole nother world to this story and to this movie. And you're like, okay, what's going on here? Right.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't know the history of the Manson family, you don't know what Spawn Ranch is. I did before watching this movie. So immediately I like kind of knew. And when you see all these people around, I'm like, oh boy. And it's simply thrilling and fun at the same time, I think.
See,
It's not totally serious.
I didn't know a lot of the minor characters.
I didn't know much of the characters either.
But of course, everyone knows Sharon Tate.
Mm-hmm.
Now she's very infamous. And then I heard Charles, or what did they say? I think they said Charlie. Is often in a different city. I'm like, wait, that's not the same Charlie, is it?
Yeah, right. Yeah, you got to kind of wonder.
And then I started to put together the pieces. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was the same way. Like, I had no idea this was going to be like some sort of Manson thing. Like, they said Spawn Ranch. I had no idea. Like, because, like, I don't know much about Charles Manson or anything. So,
Okay.
This all kind of, I mean, Courtney knew more about it than I did. So, she was kind of filling me in on things that I was missing. And I'm like, oh, this is bad.
Yep.
This is really bad. Why is he here?
He's going to the house, and that's so suspenseful. I'm like, they're not gonna kill Brad Pitt, are they?
Yeah, no, for sure. And like, you know, speaking about like the Manson family and Bruce Lee, you know, and Sharon Tate, it's nice that fictional characters are being involved with these like real life characters. It's always interesting to me. It's very like in this movie, it's very unbelievable that it's funny. And yeah, it's so nice, you know, like it's interesting to have that mixture with fictional, non-fictional.
Yeah, I liked the fictional and non-fictional, and I watched this movie in 2 parts because it's like 3 hours long. So I watched like the first hour, and then after I knew it was going to be a little bit about Manson family, I researched more, and so for the most of the movie, I was like, is this going to go with the real life story? And then I didn't know where Rick Dalton and Cliff were going to fit into it. So I'm like, I don't think they're real people. or maybe they might be based off real people or something. But I'm like, I just don't recall their names at all. And then, yeah, I think this movie ends up, when it takes the twist, being kind of like a jab in the right direction for a really horrible Hollywood tragedy. Like,
Yeah.
almost like a, what do you call those? Like a revenge fantasy type of thing.
Oh yeah.
Almost
That's a good.
almost like an well, okay. I'll get into my points about that, about the ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I get you. Yeah. Definitely. And like the scene where Rick comes back to hold the daughter hostage.
Yeah, the final saloon scene.
Yeah, the final saloon scene. Like what really got me about that scene too was like it's acting on two different levels. Like the whole scene, and when and what is the freaking girl's name? Arabella?
Marabella, I think.
Marabella. God dang it. Why do I say Arabella every time? Probably because I'm watching Love Island UK. I'm sorry. There's a girl named that. But like the whole scene where she said like to Rick that that's like the best acting I've seen in my whole life.
It was so sweet.
It's so sweet, and like it's honestly, I think Tarantino put that in for a reason, and I think it was with Leo for a reason. And honestly, what I think of it is like me personally, I think of Leo in any role he takes on like that. I could like tell him that, like she's telling him. Like that's how I feel. And it like that's why it's emotional to me. And then Rick fucking Dalton after. It's amazing.
Yeah, I really like that scene. I really thought that it was really like before she even said that, I was saying the same thing. I'm like, that was really good acting. And then like apparently that was part of the improv he was doing too, with her as the hostage. I'm like, oh, that was pretty witty.
Like after she comments on his acting, like, and he's just left there to his own devices, and he's like, I still fucking got it, basically. Like that's all that line basically says, and that like he has hope and rejuvenation again, so it's just very nice to hear and see.
Rick fucking Dalton,
Rick
man.
Fucking Dalton.
Fucking Dalton.
It's unfortunate that Cliff didn't really get like his stuntman stuff he wasn't getting paid to do stuntman stuff since he got kicked off that set. He does get to do some fun stuntman stuff at the end of the movie. But I feel like they both got their happy endings for sure.
He did that crazy driving at the beginning.
Yeah, that too. I
guess that's like
he just
something
lives
a
the
stuntman would
stuntman
do.
personality.
Yeah.
He's doing crazy shit.
Well, when Rick finally got his like kind of big break in those spaghetti westerns, Cliff was able to go with him and be a stunt double there, and like kind of be able to thrive again there. And that was nice, but like also like once we get towards the end, I do feel like Cliff kind of he got his resolution too.
Yeah.
He wasn't this questioned heroic guy. He was a heroic guy. And we'll get to that.
He's a very simple man. All he needs is his dog and some TV.
Oh fuck yeah.
And an acid dip cigarette.
Hey, whoa, hold on. We'll get to that. I can't wait, guys. Seriously. But
only 50 cents.
Yeah. So when everybody was like kind of going home and stuff, and like driving through that, like I think it was like Hollywood Boulevard or whatever, when California Dreamin' the song was playing.
Mm-hmm.
You guys remember that one?
Yeah,
Yep.
when they were heading home from the 2 restaurants.
Yes, there we go. From the 2 restaurants. Like when the whole night kicks off, right?
Yeah.
Just feels so nice. It's a very like the song is so obvious, California Dreaming, but the version of it that Tarantino puts in this movie, kind of like all the music in the movie, where it like kind of just plays off of like radios and stuff like that. It kind of just cuts into the story like so seamlessly, not too overwhelming and not too quiet. It's like it's just kind of accompanying what's going on.
You felt good during that?
California Dreaming?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I loved it, man. It was just like such a I don't know, like it just fit in with the whole feeling.
I feel like that was the start of my like really high uptick of anxiety waiting for the action to kick off. Because I'm like, I don't know, things are wrapping up. Something's gonna happen here with Sharon Tate.
Oh, okay.
I was just waiting for them to get home. I'm like, is this the night it's gonna happen? And I didn't know if it was gonna be like a central thing in the story, but as we kept going on, it kept getting pushed off. I'm like, okay, when's it gonna happen? So I was anxious from that whole night onwards. I'm like, okay, Dalton and Cliff are gonna go home, pass out, and they're gonna completely sleep through people getting murdered next door.
So hearing your thoughts there, like I totally understand you, dude. I do. I would say then if I was to combine my thoughts, I'd say it's the calm before the storm.
Yeah. Yep.
We'll go with that. I do like that. Yep. I like your insight into it. Like, and I do agree with it. And I was kind of trying to form a full thought from that sequence with California Dreamin'.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you added to it. Yeah, I think it's the calm before the storm, right?
I do think on subsequent rewatches, I mean, knowing what the payoff is, I'll probably like have a better time with
I think
that
you'll
scene.
feel the same. Yep, I think you'll feel the same.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
I do want to say I was very jealous of Rick Dalton and his whole blender full of margarita because that looked really good.
Oh,
He's just walking around outside with it, sloshing around, and I'm like, he's just drinking the whole thing. Just look at him go.
Yes. Yeah, no kidding. And when Rick and Cliff are hanging out and watching Rick on FBI Most Wanted,
Yeah.
right? It like them hanging out encapsulates like us gathering around to watch something so important and exciting to all of us.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so simple, and I love how Tarantino focuses on the TV screen while they're commentating on the whole thing in the background.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just on the TV screen and we're just watching like what's going on FBI, and we just hear Rick and Cliff's comments on the show. You know, it's just like it kind of captures what we would do as friends, like hang out when we're at that age and just watching something, you know, or something that's important to us, even if we're not in it. I feel like I'm that guy because like movies are important to me. And if I'm showing my friends a movie I've already seen, you know?
Yeah, no, I get that's the exact kind of vibe I was getting out of that too.
Right?
And then you know, he Cliff is just like the best guy. He's like the best supporting friend you could have.
He is.
I like that,
and like
Dalton's kind of like the face,
go ahead, Andy.
But like Brad Pitt's actually, or Cliff's actually like the talent almost.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's doing everything. He just doesn't get recognized for it. He's just a great guy.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And like, since like honestly, since the beginning, you you understand their relationship already. It's very established in the beginning, which I enjoy. You don't have to get too far into it to like understand, okay, these guys are like best buds, and it's actually in a good way. It's not this very toxic thing either. It's just like Rick isn't that super asshole like superstar that's such a play in so many stories, and Cliff isn't that hanger oner like so many are to like a guy like that, right? And they're just comfortable with each other. And Cliff is a good guy. He's not a resenting asshole or resenting like scared boy. And Rick is not this super pretentious person and asshole to Cliff either. That's what I enjoy. That's also what I enjoy about their dynamic. It's not those clear signs of just those oversaturated character developments or characters, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were able to see that Cliff was there to be his friend and not like there to be like, you know, like a leeching onto him so he's famous or whatever, because like yeah, even then, like, he doesn't even get paid that well. Like, he does this because he loves it, honestly.
Yep.
Right, yeah.
I mean, you see the dichotomy between Rick and Cliff. You know, like, they come from two different worlds, but they're just so chill with each other. And yeah, I mean, even when Rick came out of the restaurant, he was like crying. He's like, "Ah, it's official. I'm a has-been." He's pretty much saying like, "Hey, man, get a hold of yourself. You're Rick fucking Dalton. And
Don't you forget it."
Yeah, exactly. So he's being supportive in that instance, you know. That's how you know, like, they're really, you know, they're good for each other.
Yeah, I like. Yeah, even showing their relationship by the place they went to. It's just like, it was a little Mexican restaurant, right? I think, and they just decided to go get drunk and go home and watch TV. I think that's their relationship.
Okay, that was on. What was that? Not on the very last night?
Yeah,
I thought it was.
Yeah, that was
when Sharon Tate and Jay Sebring and all those guys went to Coyote.
Oh no, yeah, they go to the Mexican restaurant. They go to El Coyote. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dalton and Cliff went somewhere else, but it wasn't even like a huge high class restaurant or anything. They just went to go get drunk and go home. I like that of their relationship. It doesn't have to be anything special.
Yeah, no, definitely. And like that was after the whole spaghetti western career in Italy that Rick had. Yeah. And just one point about that, I will say, it was laid out very nicely and not so drawn out, and that's what I love about it.
Yeah,
the whole like spaghetti western career.
Oh yeah,
in Italy.
Yeah, it was basically montaged, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, basically, yeah, and it was shortened up, like short and sweet. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's what he did, you know. And then we're back to LA.
Yep.
Yeah. So about the assassination attempt.
Yeah, you want to get into the end a little bit?
Can we get into Cliff being high as balls first?
Yes, actually.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yes,
how subtle it is when he's going to start opening the can of dog food for, was it Brenda? Was his dog, something like that?
No, it was Hold on. It was Brandy.
Brandy, yeah. And
yep,
he's opening it, and all of a sudden he looks at his hands. He's like, "Yep, it's dripping."
Yeah. Yeah. And all I put in my notes is Cliff high as balls. Let's go. And then his quote, train has left the station.
I love that he was still coherent enough for the next 15 minutes after that to handle all that.
Yeah.
But he was still like
he was like
looking at the knife later on too, and he's just like, whoa.
Oh my god. Dude, yeah, when he got stabbed in the leg, man, like, I don't know, guys. I gotta leave off with, like, this ending is perfection. Like, cliff tripping balls adds to the chaotic nature of the whole end sequence, and the tone flips the horrific true story that was supposed to happen into something comedic and one where the villains perish.
Exactly.
Like, more of what we wished happened. That alternate history.
Yeah,
right?
Back to that, like the revenge fantasy thing that I mentioned. Like,
Yes.
like
Yep.
you get the scene of Squeaky, I think it was, going to the back door and stuff. You're like, oh shit, it's about to go down. This is about to be a really brutal, unfortunate scene. And I was like prepping myself. I'm like, I don't know if I want to watch this. And then as soon as they open the door, and it's a fucking Cliff, and you're like, oh, this is about to turn out very different.
Yeah, definitely. Like, just the whole, like, what you're kind of expecting the whole movie, it kind of just, like, Tarantino flips it on its head, and it's in a very respectful manner. And the alternate history aspect is like Inglourious Bastards that he did.
Yeah.
that wasn't true to history, but he did it anyways, and it's a very good story. Like, keep doing it, Hollywood. Honestly, like, I am all up for stories like that.
I like that for this one. I think 2 of them are still alive that died there at the end. I think Tex and one of the girls are still alive.
Tex was in jail afterwards. I remember that only because of the series Mindhunter.
But I think he's still alive now.
Yeah, no, I believe it. I believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just almost what you wish would have happened, right? And oh man, it was so chaotic and so violent, like a lot of Tarantino movies. You're like, okay, this is Tarantino, like encapsulated, like all these very great, like, chill hangout conversations throughout the whole thing, and just I don't like saying this word, but I'll say it, guys. A vibe. It's a vibe, the whole movie. That late 60s, early 70s, and Tarantino knows it very well. He studied it very well. He knows what it's like. He transports it like to us and us in it. And then it's this violent, chaotic, darkly funny ending.
You think
it's so amazing.
You think Tex or the other girl seen this movie? I just looked it up. The one died in 23, so she was alive when this came out. And Tex is still alive in prison. So.
Oh, do I think the, like, actual people of the Manson family?
I wonder if they ever watched this.
They did.
That's a very good question, because, like, I don't know how they feel nowadays towards all that they did, but this ending is basically like a huge fuck you
to
the Manson family.
Reading into it, I think there's like 2 people who are still like super into it. I think one of those was Squeaky, who was I think she was the redhead in the movie.
Squeaky was Dakota Fanning. Pretty sure at the ranch.
Yep.
Squeaky was the one that was like, George, I think. We watched this on Sunday nights.
Yeah. The redhead girl.
Yeah.
Yep. Because he sits up and he's like, how am I supposed to know what color hair she has? I'm fucking blind.
Blind.
That was great.
Yeah, dude. Oh my god. And
Bruce Dern.
Like, just have to bring up, like, okay, Guys, do you realize how many faces are in this movie?
So many. I was going through the credits a little
Okay.
bit. I'm like, oh my god, the cameos.
I got a list here. Okay,
Do it.
guys, we have Timothy Oliphant,
Mhm.
Kurt Russell, Margaret Qualley, Austin Butler, Luke Perry, Dakota Fanning, Al Pacino, Mickey Madison, Maya Hawke, Sydney Sweeney, and Victoria Pedretti. And most of those are in the Manson family. Like, you're just like, whoa, you know, like all these people, you know, it's just nuts. I can't believe it. Such a cast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely
It's huge.
cast. And not in like all flashy roles either.
Not really. No.
Yeah. It's
No. Yeah.
very tastefully well done. I think of course, our 3 stars are Robbie, Pitt, and DiCaprio, kind of leading the movie.
For sure. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
everyone does good in their roles.
It's kind of interesting too, like that Rick lives right near Sharon Tate and Polanski,
Mm-hmm.
and like right away you kind of see what Cliff's life is like, Rick's life, and Roman Polanski and Sharon Tate's life.
Yeah.
They're like, it's not just a two-sided thing. I like that it's kind of a triple, like, different view at lives at the same time. And they all link together eventually. And that's what I really enjoy about Tarantino movies. Eventually the stories connect.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I like because Rick
Yeah.
Dalton also sees himself as way below Sharon Tate and Polanski and stuff, and he's like looking up to them, and yeah, it's cool to see those levels.
Right. Yeah, like, you know, Cliff being on his own with his dog Brandy and him being perfectly content.
Mhm.
Rick being alone, probably not content, but also he's really trying at this acting thing still.
He's got
You know, and he's
Francesca.
sad. Well, at the end he meets her. Yeah. But like I'm talking about like when we first like kind of really see the characters' lives.
Yeah.
And then you have Sharon Tate and Roman Polanski living these very young, youthful, party Hollywood lives, you know?
Yeah, they went to a party at Playboy Mansion.
Yes. Yeah, that's what exactly. That's the point I'm talking about, Eric. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that. Yep.
And
Yep.
I wonder how this movie was viewed in Hollywood itself too, because Polanski's still a huge director to this day. I don't know if he still makes hits nowadays, but he's got like a few really top tier movies out there, and that dude's been through a lot too.
Yeah, like Rosemary's Baby, The Pianist.
Yeah.
I can't think of much else because I haven't seen much else, but I know there was controversy behind him. I can't really recall the controversy, actually.
I think it was sex related charges, but like
there we go.
Yeah, of course he has his own problematic stuff, but like to lose your wife to that, and then like from his own personal life losing his family through the Holocaust and stuff, and also going through some of that himself, like yeah, just the true story behind a lot of this is actually so insane to read about.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, he's had a rough life, and I mean, yeah, don't know if those controversies are true.
Yeah,
but
yeah, I didn't look into those enough, and not that trauma forgives you for causing trauma, but yeah.
Right.
That aside, I love that Rick Dalton got to bring his fucking flamethrower out.
Oh my god! Yes, yep. I was gonna go to the ending again, like, and guys, well, okay, we'll go back to the flamethrower, I promise. But Brandy, VIP, MVP,
yeah, MVP.
I was gonna say VIP too, but MVP.
Yeah, MVP is the right word.
MVP for the fucking ending,
dude. Yeah. You're sitting there in suspense a little bit, like, okay, he's a good fighter, but can he take on a gun and 2 knives? and then he does the whistle, and it's over for those three.
Oh my god, when she fucking latches onto Tex's balls, I was like, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. And then, you know, Cliff is handling the rest, and then, like, you know, he kind of gets in a little, you know, tiff, and you're like, oh shit. And then you bring that fucking dog off that man's nuts, and you go straight for this fucking girl's face. Oh, Mikey Madison. And oh god, guys, like I compare it to the ending of Scream 5, and she's also in that movie. But yeah, no, I won't say much past that since you guys haven't seen it. But yeah, fucking amazing.
That
Just like fucking going after her too.
That girl is, of course, you know, fucked up for the actions they did in real life, but damn, she got fucked up the most out of all three of them.
It was brutal.
Like, between the dog and Cliff beating the shit out of her, and then to get to the pool scene with Rick Dalton.
Oh my
Absolutely
god, yeah.
Toasting that
burnt.
girl.
Well, Jesus Christ. Like, I mean, you think of all three of them, like what they, like, the deaths they went through. And I mean, it's kind of like a whole hell yeah to the whole thing, because not because of the actors and actresses like playing those parts, it obviously because of the Manson family, right? And it's kind of that like revenge type, like alternate history we were talking about, right? Where the villains, they go down instead of a tragic ending to this like true story, right? And Tex meets a bad ending. Fuck it. The other girl that's not Mikey Madison, Jesus Christ, her head is banged into the fucking fireplace. That makes me cringe every time.
Yeah, that one was
Yeah.
Dakota Fanning.
Holy shit. No, that wasn't Dakota Fanning.
That was not Squeaky?
It wasn't Squeaky, I
Oh.
promise. It was a different, like, redhead. I can't remember her name though. I know Maya Hawke's character was the one that left in the freaking car without them. Yeah, I love Maya Hawke. Fucking Stranger Things, and she's Ethan Hawke's daughter. Fucking, she's awesome. And then Mikey Madison, like we talked about, like being fucking bit in the face and shit from Brandy, and then going out to the pool and getting fucking lit up
Yep.
by that flamethrower from Rick. Just all of them had fucking horrible deaths, and it was just like your jaw just like, I remember myself in the theater, myself just being there. And this whole ending just had me in a fucking tight grip, and my mouth was just hanging.
Yeah.
It was just, and
It was
that's
a bit.
what I love.
Yeah, it was great. It was a little hard to
Was.
watch though, especially with you know, the dog just ripping his nuts off. I held my nuts and my
Oh,
no.
I know, you feel it, dude. You feel it. Yeah. Like it's not just like gruesome and bad. It's like, it's darkly comedic.
It's darkly
too.
comedic. It was just
is.
like
It's a
was just
perfect
so
blend.
brutal that it's just
Yeah.
like, whoa. You're just having you're along for the ride.
It was
Yeah.
so quick. I wasn't sure exactly what I seen, but I think Tex got curb stomped into the door frame.
I think so.
From Cliff.
Yes.
He
Yeah,
got really
I
messed
think
up,
so.
too.
He got messed up too. Yeah, I was trying to recall like what did him in actually.
Mhm.
But yeah, Andy, I think you're totally right.
The fucking paramedics
Yeah,
are acting
no.
like this is just a normal day in Hollywood.
Yeah,
Just bailing him out.
Not really. No. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just
Yeah,
laughing at his
his-
jokes and acting like normal.
I love that the flamethrower was brought up in the beginning with Rick Dalton and Al Pacino's character like conversating,
Mhm.
and they were talking about the flamethrower in that World War II movie.
Mhm.
You know, and how Rick used it, and like the funny scene with Rick using it and stuff, like for the first time. and whatever, like behind the scenes. I love those cuts, by the way, like, behind the scenes and like the present, like kind of just hopping back
Yeah.
and like showing us what happened,
They give you that,
like very quickly. It wasn't drawn out.
yeah, that quick showing you that he knows how to use it. He's like, can we
Yeah.
make this any less warm when I use it?
Yeah, exactly. That was such a funny scene. And I love that it was brought up in the beginning and then it's just fucking used in the ending. Like, that's perfect. A perfect plant
Yeah.
right there,
I love. I think it's Emil Hirsch playing Jay Sebring there at the end, and he's just like,
Yes.
you wanna like come up and hang out?" And Margot Robbie's asking him to come up, and he gives him the thumbs up. He's like, "Come hang out." He's like finally feeling like part of the crew.
Yeah. So, like, getting to that too, like when Brad Pitt goes away into the ambulance, I love his line, "And away we go." Like, I always think of that in my mind, like ever since I watched this movie. Like, I love that. And Rick and Cliff's interaction at the end, you really feel like when it comes down to it, what good friends they are.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a shallow thing at all. And it's not such a lovey-dovey buddy ship either.
Mm-hmm.
It just really comes through in the end. And Cliff is like, "Hey, I got you, buddy." Like, he just gives him a thumbs up when he's going in the ambulance. And like Rick really looks at him like admiringly. And he's like, "You're a real good friend, Cliff." So like that was very touching and nice to me, that like that's where it ended up. And the ending is definitely what could have been with Sharon Tate and her friends. There's an eerie feeling to this as well, and the music adds to it. It's incredible that Sharon recognizes Rick, and it's just all of what could have been.
I felt that sense too when she was talking onto the speaker box and talking to Dalton and stuff, and I'm like, there's almost the feeling that she, like, I don't know, there's just this huge thing that was just avoided, and yeah, she doesn't even know.
Exactly. Yeah, like it's just like we know what actually happened.
Yeah.
And it's like, god damn, like if only this happened.
If only. Yeah.
And I think Tarantino was feeling that too, and that's why I felt like it was very respectful, and why the Tate family was totally okay with this as well. Like, I read a bunch about that stuff, like if the families were okay with this, and I can't see how it wasn't.
Well, he
it's just a big fuck you to the villains. Like,
yeah, he would have been around in Hollywood when this happened. Tarantino. Yeah, like maybe right after, because he was early 80s, I think, when he started off.
He would.
So he might have been
early 80s. He was definitely like a young man appreciating like the 70s and stuff, I feel. Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't start his career too far after all this happened. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Reading more into it too after, like, all the true story stuff. Like, just some of the insane details about, like, Abigail Folger, who was also one of the victims that night, heiress of the Folger coffee fortune. Like,
yes, I know. It's crazy to think about, like, who were the victims, right?
Yeah. Like, they definitely got their message out there.
Yeah, no, definitely. And Tarantino did a good job. Like, I knew of the Manson family, but I wasn't totally aware of the late 60s, 70s, early 70s, like, Hollywood history. And I didn't know a lot of the players in it. And I think he did a good job. Whether you're a historian, or if you know the Manson family murders, or if you're completely like oblivious to all of it, I feel like this movie could work for you because of Tarantino and how he laid this out.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys agree?
I agree.
Yeah.
I feel like I had a benefit going into this knowing a decent amount about it. I would like to also speak to people who have no idea. I think we're far enough away now where people might have a blind spot and not know the story.
Mm-hmm.
Watching this, and if they would still enjoy it if they don't connect those pieces,
Mm-hmm.
or if they just be like,
As
"Oh wow,
someone who fits that description, I would say you would enjoy it.
okay."
Hey,
You didn't think it was just
all right,
like,
Eric.
like senseless violence at the end?
Like,
Like
are you talking about the violence or like the Manson stuff?
the 3 intruders getting murdered at the end? Like, because I'm thinking like if you didn't know who they were, that might seem like overkill on the outset.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it is
Yeah,
overkill.
I mean, it could be
but
polarizing to people that like this style of movie, but then people that don't like the gore and stuff like that. But it's not that long either, so I mean, I feel like they should just get over it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel it's like, yeah, like I said, it's a big fuck you to the villains, the criminals of the story. And like if you hear of the true story and what happened to the innocent people, you're like, hell yeah, all right.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
like this story better.
you're like, okay, I like where this is going. You know, like it's, I don't know, they did that to them. It kind of goes into that moral quandary a little bit, but yeah, just that like alternate history and that things could have turned out differently, knowing what we know now.
Yep.
Tarantino is a great treasure to this type of storytelling, and
He's a genius.
I hope there's much more, honestly.
For sure,
Yeah.
for sure. You guys got anything left on Land of the Wood of Holly Upon a Time?
One more question for you guys. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys enjoy the structure of the story? Like with more of a hang, with a bit of tension underneath it for most of it, than the violent, insane ending.
I did enjoy that. I did enjoy the movie for what it was. Like it was like a hang or whatever, but like that's why I was saying it started to get dull towards the middle because I'm like, I don't know where this is all going. I'm like, I like seeing all this, but
Sure.
you know, it didn't seem like it built up to anything. But then it just kind of built up like right at the end and then, you know, came to the conclusion. Like, you know how you got normal movies, you have the acts and then you have the climax and then you have the resolution and stuff. That like that all like most of it was just all like build up and then like the last like 20 minutes was like the climax and then resolution. So it was like it was definitely different, and I think that's why I enjoy it so much. Same with like Pulp Fiction. I guess not Pulp Fiction. There's like kind of ups and downs and stuff throughout the whole movie with that, but most of the time it's kind of chill. But
okay, sure,
yeah.
Okay, Andy, how about you?
Yeah, same with Eric. I think looking at this in the entirety, I enjoyed the ride. If you asked me about halfway through what my enjoyment of this movie was, I think it'd be a lot lower. Not really knowing what that through line was going to be. But then obviously, yeah, it connects a lot in the third act.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I was just curious what you guys thought. And like, I'll sum it up in just like a little sentence. I thought it was a crescendo.
A crescendo. Yeah.
Yep.
That's the way to articulate it, honestly.
I thought it was a crescendo, and I was all for the hangout and kind of just going through these characters' lives, and then it all led up to the ending, and I was blown away. It was like a grand finale, and that's perfectly okay. Like I love that it was structured that way instead of a bang, then boom, 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 bang, and then
Yeah.
boom, 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 and boom. You know, like
Yep.
first, second, third act. You know, yeah.
Yeah, you can't really tell the differences in the acts if there were any. I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't know if it's just it's so different of a structure. So I don't know if you want to say like first, second, third act, but
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I appreciate about it. It's a different structure. I wouldn't even call it a very slow burn because I've seen slow burn movies and they've kept me way less entertained than this one.
yeah.
So props to this one
For sure, for sure.
for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
have you guys been watching lately?
Eric, you go ahead, man.
Got Oscar season coming up. So much to watch.
I recently watched a movie called Everest, and it's about a true story about a climbing company. Well, it's like a company that like basically guides people towards the top of the mountain. Like they basically take anywhere from professional to amateur climbers and trains them and acclimates them to the environment and makes sure they have a safe climb and stuff. But yeah, things take a turn in this trip, and yeah, good movie.
Yeah, this one's
I
been
would recommend
on my list for a while, so I'm excited to see it and glad that you also said it's good.
Yeah.
Watch.
It's on my list because of Jake Gyllenhaal and Jason Clarke.
Yep.
Yep.
How'd you feel about Jason Clarke in the lead role in that? Was he good?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, it was. I don't know if he's actually in New Zealand or wherever he's from, but yeah,
I think he's
definitely
British.
He's British. Well, it's close, I guess.
Yeah, Andy, you remember him in Gatsby?
He's Australian,
right?
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Oh well.
Okay.
Yeah, basically he was in a normal accent then.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it was good. He was really good. I got really attached to his character through the whole thing. Very respectable guy.
Yeah, I love him.
That might have to be my watch tonight. That one's on Max, so worth a watch.
Yep. Okay. Perfect.
Cool.
Yeah, Andy, Eric, do you have anything else?
I also seen Strays.
Oh,
yeah.
That one's pretty good. It's about a dog who kind of has like an abusive owner, kind of like, not like physically abusive. I mean, the dude's just a piece of shit, and he like basically like he does the thing where where people like abandon a dog with throw a ball and hop in their car and then drive away.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And he did that, meets up with some friends, and all the dogs like talk in this, and they basically just make dog jokes a lot, I guess. I don't know. There's one scene where they're like all peeing on each other because
my god,
claiming territories. It's like, oh, we're all friends now, we should all pee on each other, and then they have like a circle where they're peeing on each other. It's great, man.
I love my dog.
I haven't seen this one yet, but I feel like I've seen so many dog movies with this kind of thing, where it's
okay. Well, it's R-rated, so like an
an
R-rated dog movie is basically if you're expecting it, that's what you're gonna get.
I've seen mostly family dog movies, so this one might be a little different. Yeah,
is a little more hijinks than like Beethoven or something.
Or
A little more, yeah.
Or guys, Cats and Dogs. Do you remember that fucking movie?
I love Cats and Dogs.
You know, I probably
Yes.
seen it once. I don't really remember much from it.
Okay, Andy. Number one priority. Well, okay, behind Scream. That we're gonna watch together. At least the first Scream. Cats and Dogs. We're gonna show
Cats and Dogs.
Okay.
All right.
Cats and Dogs.
We'll watch it together.
Yes.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Double feature. It'll be a great double feature. Screaming Cats and Dogs. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Before we continue on to yours, Hunter, I do want to shout out
Yeah. Go ahead.
Julia Butters was the actor for Marabella.
Yep.
She was also in one of our other movies on the pod in Gray Man.
The Gray Man.
Yeah, she was.
Yes.
The
I knew.
daughter that he was protecting. So
Yes.
yeah, just wanted to shout her out before we forget. So
She will be an up and coming actress, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's very good.
So what have you been watching,
Definitely.
Hunter?
Oh God, guys, a lot, but I'll kind of sum it up. So I finally checked out Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's on Netflix now, right?
Yes, it is. And I checked it out before it came on Netflix, thankfully, because I just couldn't wait any longer.
Yeah.
And it was about like a week before it came on Netflix, and my brother-in-law had it purchased on Vudu. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I watched that on my own, and guys, I got to tell you, it is up with those classic slashers.
Okay.
I feel like a lot of people will be watching this year round around Thanksgiving, and they should.
Okay.
I thought it was a really good slasher. I mean, doesn't match up to my Scream, but I can sense the elements from Scream and other good slashers, and I just feel like it's one of the decent slashers that we've had in so long.
So I'm gonna like this one. I'm not gonna be disappointed.
No, and that's why I'm not talking it up too much.
You hesitated.
No. Why I hesitated was because I was trying to think, did I fucking talk this up like too much? You know, like I didn't want you to be like, oh my God, this is going to be a fucking masterpiece,
Yeah.
you know? But it's a very, very, like, I thought it was great.
Yeah.
There we go. Like, not even really good. Great.
No, definitely doesn't look like a masterpiece, but it's not often that we get good slashers.
Right. And you know, when we watch, well, okay, no, never mind. I'm gonna save my comments for Scream when we watch. And then I've also seen the Iron Claw to kind of get prepared for, even though it's not in like any Oscar contention, I just wanted to see it because it was one of the highest rated movies of the year, last year. And yeah, the Iron Claw was, oh man, Zac Efron, if you doubted him as an actor, watch him in here. And it's such a good, it's not like one of those full-blown biopics. It's just such a great story, and it's so devastating. And I really enjoyed it. I did. My wife and I watched it, and we also watched Wonka. Wonka was enjoyable. That's all I'll keep it to.
Okay.
So I don't. Well, like it was enjoyable. It was enjoyable enough. That's all I'll keep it to. Timmy Chalamet, you are the dude. Loved him in it. And yeah, I'll just keep it to that. So I keep this short. But like I also watched Anyone But You, the rom-com with Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell.
Okay, I've been recommended that one recently.
Yes, one of the best rom-coms I've seen in a while.
Okay,
I will say that.
All right.
And then what I will end on is Orion in the Dark.
Orion in the Dark.
Is that like
and the Dark?
Constellation.
Orion and the Dark.
Yes. Yep. Correct. Okay. So it's on Netflix. It's a Netflix original. Because Netflix bought it, but it's a DreamWorks movie, like Shrek and Puss in Boots, all those, you know, and Flushed Away. And damn, guys, like this is one of the most like grown up animated. also kids movie that I've seen in a while, and it really touched my wife and I. Honestly, it's like, just to kind of give a spoilery description on it. It's about a young boy that's about like 11 or something like that, and he is afraid of the dark, and it's just really about anxiety and all those just mental feelings in a grown up way, and it tells a kid in a really nice, gentle way, and the animation is just wonderful, and I don't know, you just really enjoy it. And it's about this boy meeting the dark, even though he's deathly afraid of him, and it comes with all of the other kind of like spirits or whatever of the night, like sleep or sweet dreams, sleep, and God, I can't think of like the other one. It's kind of like
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 insomnia.
anxious thoughts while you're trying to go to bed, it like kind
Yeah.
of those things. It like really dives deep into it, and it's like a very great writer was involved in it. Charlie Kaufman, he also wrote Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a very, very deep movie that like is very beloved. And yes, Charlie Kaufman might have wrote the script years ago and it didn't get picked up until now. Might have been a little altered, but you can definitely feel that very good writing in it. And I was so excited for this movie because I'm a huge fan of I shouldn't even say a fan. I love the nighttime. I love nighttime. It's enchanting to me. And I was very excited for this boy to meet dark. Like, that was just the simple premise that I heard a couple years ago before this came out, and I was just so excited, and it lived up. It lived up to expectations.
Perfect.
Hell
So
yeah.
that's all I'll say.
I would also be scared of the dark if I was Jacob Tremblay. That kid has made some really fucked up characters.
Yep. Jacob plays Orion, and he does sound more grown up than we remember him, but it's great. And yeah,
I didn't recognize him from his actor photo. I'm like, wait, that kid grew fast.
yeah,
I will add that to my list.
Yeah, no, you definitely should. Even though, Andy, I know you don't love animated movies, but I feel like this one might like speak to you,
Okay.
and speak to quite a bit of us adults, even though we think animated movies are childish. Like, that's, yeah, my wife and I, we were both kind of tearing up towards the end, and we're like, yeah, like, I would want my kid to see this. That's how important it already was.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that's
All
it.
right.
I'm sorry about my long. Yeah, I've been watching a lot, guys.
Yeah, you have.
I got two for you guys. So
Okay, go ahead.
I got
Andy.
one, and me and Eric did not plan this out. But it's also it's about hiking Everest.
Oh,
So it's called The Climb. These are both on Netflix that I'm going to recommend.
okay.
It's from 2017. It's a foreign comedy. I think it's French. I might be getting that wrong. I think it's in French, so you gotta watch it with subtitles.
Okay.
About this guy who loves this girl so much, and he's like, "Well, I like you, and like I'd do anything for you. I'd climb Everest for you." And she's like, "Well, I'll date you after you climb Everest." And thus, this movie goes on. This guy has no experience, and this is semi based on a real guy that did a similar thing, and it's about his journey to go hike Everest, and it's really, really well shot. The comedy and romance is so cheese, but like the hiking aspect got me into it a lot, and I think for you, Hunter, at least, you'll really like the rom-com portions. I think Nell would probably like that one too.
Would I though? Like, would a guy do this for a woman?
It's just really sweet. It's a sweet rom-com. I liked it more than I thought I would.
And this was a true story.
It's based on I think there's a guy that helped write this movie that climbed Everest without experience. I don't think it was for love or anything.
Oh, okay. I'm fine with that.
But
then.
I think
sorry, I was
he-
just like, wow.
Yeah, I think he like consulted on the movie. But yeah, it's about this guy
Okay.
that no hiking experience, never really did any mountains, and he's trying to bullshit his way to get on Everest.
Wow.
So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
really good movie. And
Awesome.
well, not really good, but it was good, surprisingly good.
It was good.
The
Okay.
one that is very good and quickly became one of my top tier movies, especially in the fighting world, which there's not a lot of movies there. It's called The Warrior, or just Warrior, with Tom Hardy and Joel Edgerton as our main characters, and Nick Nolte as the dad of Tom Hardy. And it's these two guys. One's a high school teacher, and one's a former Marine MMA fighter, and they're both brothers. They haven't seen each other in a long time, going through this super tournament, trying to win all this money, both for their own reasons. And it is a very good movie. I think I just like watching MMA in general, and these kind of fighting ones, and there's not many of these good movies, and had me on the edge of my seat for a long time. And it's always really good to have those kind of like racing movies. Why I like those, like you have your fights and stuff, so you can see like your character's clearly winning or losing. There's no gray area. So
Okay.
I recommend there, and that one's also on Netflix.
Love those two main actors, so I will definitely be checking that one out. I'm pretty sure it's on my watch list already, and I will add. What was that one? The Climb.
The Climb, yeah.
Okay. I'll be adding both of those, man. Yeah.
All right.
Sounds awesome.
I hope you like it. Let me know what you think of The Climb for sure. It's I think a lesser known one since it's a foreign film.
Oh, I for sure will. You said it was French?
I believe it was French, yes.
French. Okay. I've been checking out more foreign movies lately, so yeah, no, I will check that out. And you guys kind of got me onto the foreign movie trail more again. Like I only watched Parasite a couple years ago, and I was totally fine following that movie. I'm like, okay, I can do this. But I didn't watch any after, and then you guys recommended Dead Snow.
Yeah.
And that's German. So I was like, okay, I definitely got to follow this, right? Yeah. So yeah, thank you guys for kind of helping me get back into the groove of that.
Yeah, I got a backlog, so I will show you more as you get through them.
Awesome. Okay, perfect. Yeah.
Was it Impossibles? The Untouchables?
The Untouchables?
Yeah, The Untouchables. That's also a French movie.
Is it?
Yeah, you might have seen the Americanized version of this movie with was it Kevin Hart and Tom Hanks, the Bright Side, not the Bright Side, but I forget what the American version of this was, but yeah, that's also a good French one that I would recommend.
The Untouchables.
The Intouchables.
Oh, Intouchables. Okay.
Touchables.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Intouchables. Okay.
Intouchables.
Okay. Perfect. Intouchables.
Anyways,
Okay. Perfect.
yeah. So we got Oscar season coming up, and we're gonna give you guys some good content. Both Hunter and Eric have some good plans to reveal some more stuff for you guys, and we could do a special Oscar episode as well. Just to expect that. Forewarning you to expect that. I can't English.
Forewarned is forearmed.
Yes. yeah, so we're gonna try and do some more content around that, and actually get involved more with some modern stuff and keep up on 2024 as it goes through. So, but yeah, for this next episode, our standard programming, we're going back to our monthly topic, which was one of my choices. So we're gonna be covering some movies there, and I hope you guys tune in to hear that. And yeah, if you want to reach out to us, we have this thing called Instagram and Discord, and then we also have an email, and all of that information is in the description for you to join or message us. Hunter makes a lot of great posts on there on Instagram, and we also chat a bunch on Discord. And if you like hearing us rant about random shit and movies, give us 5 stars on Spotify or a review on Apple. We promise we will love you forever and cherish you in our hearts.
Maybe.
Maybe. Hunter said,
but yes.
I will cherish you forever if you rate us.
Okay. Andy will. Eric probably won't. And me is a maybe. Okay. Yeah. No, really appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Yes. Hunter will cherish you if you go interact with the Instagram posts. So leave some comments on there, please.
Yeah, so do it. Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
We will see you guys at the end of the month.
See you guys.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. Rick fucking don't.